Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden and welcome back to part 2 of preparing the top layer of the slope for my raised beds. So for those of you who just discovered my channel, I would honestly recommend go back in my history and watch my previous video because I talk you through what I intend on doing here and then everything makes a little more sense. And for those of you who continue watching my videos, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video. I can tell you I have so many bearded iris in pots you have no idea. I'm going to show you in a second. And what I did in the morning, you can still see my garden fork sitting there. I had like a big drift of 2 different varieties of bearded iris sitting there as well, white ones and very dark ones, almost like black ones. Came in the morning, lifted them, divided them and put them in the back of a garden. I hope I could make some sense into that because at least with those iris, when they're really flowering dark, sometimes you can tell by the rhizome or when the first leaves are appearing, you can see kind of like purple dark streaks coming there. And this is when you know, okay, this is going to flower dark. So I hope I could kind of like figure which rhizome is going to flower in what color, but let's see. What I want to do is I definitely have a plan on how I'm going to tackle all of the mess that is in the back of me. So what I want to do first is flip my phone, show you all the iris that I have in pots. At one point I need to find a good area for them, obviously, as well, because now they're just sitting on the lawn. And then I'll talk you through and explain to you what I will do in today's video. I'm not sure if I can manage everything today in one day, to be honest. But that doesn't matter because as you can tell, the blue skies in my back, beautiful weather. And the entire week has an amazing forecast so far. So even if I don't manage it today, I can just come out here tomorrow and continue the entire project off. And this excites me a lot. Nights are frosty though. We have night frost, but I can tell, like, the perennials, they all look good. Like I was just checking the perennials in the garden and just saw, okay, how are they looking? But everything looks perfectly fine, very happy. And obviously that makes me happy. But I can tell you what makes me even happy and would excite me even more is once this project is finally done and the area is prepared, so let's get cracking. Can you possibly ever have too many bearded iris? I'm kind of thinking the answer is no. Clearly I've gone bonkers at one point with my order. I really have a lot and a lot of them. And I was surprised myself what happened. I really tried to keep some of the clumps even together. Like here, for example, this rhizome, I could have divided it into 1, 2, 3 pieces, but I didn't want to end up with 2 billion pots, so I just kept it as it was. And only a few of them were really the big rhizomes were completely overgrown and started like crumbling and falling apart. This is where I just took the new shoots off. So I have like a couple of pots here with rather small or even teeny tiny rhizomes here. So all I need to do is, once the slope is fully prepared, find the perfect area where I can just put them in the fullest of the sun to make sure that they come to flower, so really see what color they actually are, label them properly and eventually find a nice location for them in the garden or also on the slope. But let me just show you what I want to do in today's video with you. So let's just walk to the back again. So this is the top layer, obviously, where I want to put the raised beds. First thing that I want to do is I still have a couple of perennials here. See maybe some green fresh leaves. This is Phlomis. It flowers yellow, absolutely beautiful. And it is a self-seeder. And this is Alfie. Hello, you are photobombing or video bombing, however you call it. Alright, so this is Phlomis and it self-seeds in the garden here. Absolutely beautiful. I really like it. It's good for wildlife as well. So I will just, I don't want to throw it away. So I'm going to lift it and it will go to the bottom layer of the slope as an underplanting of some of the shrubs that I planted together with you. Then, believe it or not, more bearded iris. So I remember that I had them though, so this was not really a surprise. And I already started stripping off all the old foliage yesterday evening quickly, because I had them somewhere standing in here, in amongst all of this rubble here, all of this embarrassment. So what I'm going to do is definitely, as a second thing, go through all of the pots, tidy up the area, see what I want to keep, and then throw some of the other things away. Then I need to find a good location for all of these like wooden planks. Like that was the railing from our old terrace, but I think I have an idea what I want to do with that. Then I will put the support system in here all the way along to really secure this area. Make sure when I'm working here that no soil is going to crack off the border. And the last thing that I want to do is then lift this hazel here. Is the one thing that scares me a little bit, because I know there's going to be a lot of work. And this is also why the support system needs to go in there, because it grows quite close to the edge. I think if I start lifting it, I don't want that the entire edge is just going to crumble down and fall apart. And I'm not sure if I want to have the hazel. Let's see how the root system looks. Maybe I'm just going to put it down by the slope at one point, because hazel is always nice for cuttings and for hazel cuttings, because then I could use the cuttings, obviously, to make nice little basket weave fence sections. And as you might know, I love to do that. So there is a voice in me kind of like try to secure the hazel as good as I can. But all right, first things first, so let's start with transplanting the phlomis. The top layer is pretty much cleared now. Only the wooden planks from the banister, they're still lying there, because I still need to figure where I want to put them, what I want to do. But I'm up to a point where I could put the support system in there, which is really exciting. By the way, as you can see, I'm trying to block the sun with my hat now, because the trees have no foliage. So obviously there's no shadow at all, especially in the afternoon on the slope, which is amazing. It came to the point where I was feeling even warm, and it was like, yes, this is spring. This is the feeling of spring is on its way. I'm loving it. Super happy about it. But back to the support system. So if you haven't seen all of my previous videos, there is one video that I only dedicate on how to build such a support system. So if you just scroll down in my history, maybe like 3 months from now, I would say, I give an entire video just about how to do it, and this is just how I do it. I'm not a handyman by any means. I just try and figure my way on how things work and how I think everybody can make it happen and work in a fairly easy way. So what I want to do now is flip the phone, show you quickly how the area looks now, just the progress that I made, and then I start putting the support system in. And I feel tomorrow is a day when I can finally lift the hazels, and then the area is ready to put my raised beds here. How exciting is that? Not the prettiest side yet, but I think I'm on a good way, and I'm really happy that my area of embarrassment is cleared and almost tidy. Just a few wooden planks, but I'm happy with the progress I'm making. I think this is really off for a flying start, and I can show you actually a pretty side just over there. Alfie enjoying the sun. Oh, so cute. There were just some dogs barking, but she's always behaving good actually. And here a wheelbarrow full of nice pots that I want to keep. So similar sizes and bigger sizes, because I like to grow potatoes in pots, so those are absolutely perfect for that. And I just have like one yellow bag full of like broken pots and just old things, like even like these trays here, they had holes at the bottom or cracks, so they were no good anymore, but this is all right. It's not a lot actually that I'm going to throw away. So what I'm going to do now is just collect all of my materials that I need. I've got my bamboo canes here, I have my landscape fabric there, I have wooden stakes lying there already, and the plastic mesh on the roll also there. Those are all the materials that I need to start with putting the support system in here. So let's get cracking. Am I not lucky with such an amazing, beautiful weather to work in this area for such a project? But I can tell you what looks like 2.5 cube minutes for you with some nice music behind it. In reality, we're 2 afternoons, so we're 2 days later. And the reason for it is when we have amazing weather as we have right now at this time of the year, clear blue skies, that means the night is very cold, so the temperatures really dropped down to -5, -6, I would say. So the ground was completely frozen over. It was like concrete. I tried to get my spade in the morning and it simply didn't work. So I needed to wait up until like early afternoon, I would say, to really start in here and do something. But I use the mornings for different little projects and other little things, which you're going to see in different videos, by the way, obviously. What I want to do now is quickly just talk you through again the entire process of what I did here. With the support system, I'm going to wrap it up very fast because there is an entire video, as I said before, dedicated only to how I do it. So what I do here is I use poles, like wooden poles, as a vertical support system. And I space them like I would say 30 to 40 centimeters apart, try to use as many poles as possible because there is quite a lot of weight really resting on the support system. Then, as my horizontal support system, I came in with a plastic mesh where I was weaving bamboo canes in, and that was attached to each and every single one of those poles and placed in between the initial edge and the poles, basically, so that the soil is pushing against that horizontal support system. Then I came in with my landscape fabric, wrapped it on top of it from both sides so that there is another layer of protection, and then I tied in the landscape fabric on every second pole, and I've dug it in a trench that I just quickly dug out at the bottom, so when the wind hits it, it is definitely anchored in the soil as well. This is how I basically build the support system. Having that said, I use wooden poles, which means at one point they will start to rot, and in the long run I need to think of something that I put in front of here, which obviously is supposed to look nicer because this is not a pretty sight, and which can also withstand weather conditions. We are very close to this Baltic Sea here, which means like wood rots fairly fast, faster than in other areas, I would say. So it works well, I would say, for 1 or 2 years, definitely for 2 years, but then latest in 2 years I need to come in here and do something. I want to do it earlier because I want to make it look nice, obviously. What I did then is I came in with my spade and I started leveling out the area here. I had so much soil, which was really lovely. I could just come in, fill in between the gaps, walk over it, really firm it in well, because you want to make sure when rain comes that you suddenly don't have air pockets or anything in there and nothing is going to shift at all. So really trample it in, and I'm confident that this is really secure. Also by trampling it, and you see if the support system really works or if it starts to bend, basically, which it didn't. It's really a nice straight line, so happy about that. Last thing I did is I just lifted both of the hazels. See, I just showed you one. So I had the big clump of hazel over there, and then I had the red hazel growing there. So I managed to dig up both of them, and I've transplanted them. They are now outside on a slope in this natural hedgerow that we have there. I cut back a lot of the elders that are growing there. I just need to look what I cut back, the elders that I grew there, because I kind of want that everything starts at the same level now, and especially the hazels. I'm happy if they're rooted because, well, one is a red hazel, which is beautiful like visually, but I love to work with hazel cuttings. You know that if you follow me for quite a while, you know I built a nice trellis together with you. I built these little basket weave fan sections here together with you. So I just love hazels in general. I think it's a great material to work with. Last thing that I need to do now is there's still a little hole there. Backfill it. Try and level it out as good as I can because I put 3 raised beds here. And when I put 3 raised beds here, obviously I want to make sure that this area is not like wonky or anything. It should be really dead level as I could possibly get it. What I want to do now is flip the foam, just show you generally how everything looks, also where I planted the hazels. And then in tomorrow's video, I can finally finish off this area. I'm going to talk you through a little bit of what I do to the open soil here, and let's see how many of the raised beds I can actually set up here, because I have an idea on how I want to position them. I hope it works out well. I'm so excited about this, but first I want to show you what I did actually to this area. Okay, somebody's not so excited about me showing you the area. Somebody clearly wants me to play with her, which I'm going to do in a second, obviously, but Alfie, take your time. Come on, I'll do it now. Take the stick. What do you say? What do you say? There's a tripod, unfortunately, in my way now, but I still try to manage. Whoa. Oh well. It was not the tripod, it was a pear tree. You can tell I'm not so good in throwing, but I mean, you can't be perfect at everything. So this is how the area looks like. I'm really happy with it. It's a good size. which I love because I already know I know how I want to put the raised beds here, and the way I want to put the raised beds here allows me to also put some nice flowers and ornamental things in here as well. So what I still need to do, obviously, there are still the wooden planks here, so I need to remove them, and there's landscape fabric all the way along here, which is going to go away as well because I want to mulch the area, and towards the end I want to keep an open space where I could really put some nice perennials, maybe annuals. And then I've got this lovely fence section here which I could also utilize, maybe even growing some beans, growing some nice climbers. I need to see. It just is, this entire area is full of opportunities still, and I think this is where I really love to work here. And the hazels. I hope you get to see anything from up here now, but there's one. There was a bigger clump, which is kind of like towards the end, because then here are a couple of elders. There's another elder, and then let me see if I can even find now the last hazel. The red hazel is there. So, where's my finger? There. This is a red hazel, and I think this is a really nice location for it because when I'm sitting up here on my bench and I get to enjoy the view in the evening or the afternoon with my coffee, then there is a beautiful red foliage hazel down there. I think this is going to be so pretty, and especially since I already planted other shrubs outside of the slope with you. I think this is just going to be a really nice, fun area. I can't wait to show you the progress and how this is going to develop over the entire year. I kind of look a little scruffy and unkempt right now, but luckily in 2 days I have an appointment at the hairdresser's. I'm so excited about it. But I'm even more excited about tomorrow when we can go back to the slope and finally assemble the raised beds. And to be fair, I think I was a little naive thinking how fast I can prepare the area for the raised beds, because honestly I thought I just gonna go in there, quickly put a support system in, level it out and chop chop done. But no, that was not chop chop done. That was kind of just like a little more involved than that, but I'm happy that I took the time to do it properly because it needs to be safe and sound, and I'm positive that it is. What I'm going to do now is I'm trying to find where Alfie is. Oh, somewhere, I don't know. Somewhere in the garden. So the weather is still beautiful. I'm wearing a jacket now just here in the upper garden because it is, once there's a little shadow, it is immediately cool, but at the back of the slope there is bright sunshine. Beautiful, lovely, warm. So I'm going to take Alfie, play with her a little bit there, find myself a project that I can do there. And up until then, I'm very happy if I could welcome you tomorrow back again in my garden. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care. Bye.